Africa's gift to its tribe. Homegrown radio. Ekaya. My home.
And in our podcast today, we are joined by Carel De Jager, who's the research group leader of the CSIR, which is a state-owned enterprise. How are you, Carel? And thank you and welcome to our session this afternoon.
Thank you. It's a real privilege to spend some time with you.
What are you doing at the CSIR?
So I lead a research group in blockchain technology, or distributed ledger technology as it's also called. So this research group actually forms part of a larger research center, which houses artificial intelligence, machine learning, virtual and extended reality experts, as well as Internet of Things. And then, of course, our DLT group. So, I think it's quite special. This center is called Emerging Digital Technologies for the Fourth Industrial Revolution.
So for our audiences who do not know what the CSIR is, what is the CSIR?
CSIR is a state-owned organization. It's a research organization. So similar to other state-owned organizations, which might not have such a good reputation, like the ESCOMs of the world. The CSR is actually extremely well run. And the mandate of the CSR is really to conduct research on a very, very high level with almost like an open ceiling, so to explore new frontiers in South Africa, and then to discover new things and to de-risk technology for the industry. And it covers a very wide spectrum. So it stands for the Center of Industrial and Scientific Research in South Africa. So it covers a wide spectrum. So it's not only technology, or at least not only digital technology. It's like manufacturing and mining. It employs, I think, I might be corrected, but it employs around 1,000 people, and has the mandate of the CSR is to expand the capability of the state.
What do you do with all that information that you collect?
Eventually, it flows into the industry. So that's the idea, Right. So we lead the thought leadership discussion as well. So publish academic journals. There's a big drive towards academic qualifications inside the CSR as well. They support that, and eventually it needs to flow into the industry and also increase the capability of the state somehow, and also build human capability. So build the skills that's required, to grow this country and grow the economy.
So when we say research tells us, are we usually talking about the CSIR?
Research tells.
CSIR.
Research tells, yes. So, yeah, that's a good point. I think so. I would hope so.
So the interest in blockchain technology, when did that start with the CSIR?
So that's a fairly new system. That's a fairly new group, So myself, I've been involved in it for quite a long time, but I've recently joined the CSR when the group was basically just starting out, and that was it's about a year ago. So we're quite young, and still in a capability building phase. So we employed quite a large group of engineers and developers now, and upskilling the group at this stage.
What are you upskilling on? What are you developing?
Oh, sorry, we're developing some very exciting stuff. So first, let me point you to 3 projects that we're doing. So first, it's a metaverse project. So we're working with the extended reality and virtual reality team. They're building a new metaverse space, which works with commerce. So people can come and rent a little space there, and you can do whatever. If you want to hold a concert there.
Can we, as Learn Crypto, come and...
Oh, yeah, that'll be excellent.
On the metaverse.
Yeah.
On your metaverse.
Yes. And then we, as a DLT, or the blockchain group, we're providing the payments infrastructure for that. Yeah. So if you want to come there, you want to rent, and you pay with crypto or rands, but we support the crypto as well. So you open a Lightning Network channel and you start paying, and then whenever someone enters your space, you can build business logic around that.
So you're building something like Decentraland and Sandbox and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and then you can charge them per second. You can tell them you can, and they pay every second. They make a small micro payment.
It's a state-owned metaverse, so it should be free for us.
We can make a deal offline. And we're also looking into self-sovereign identity. That is a new way of utilizing a blockchain. We're basically revamping the identity system of South Africa. That's a fairly new field. And then the one that we talked about at this conference, Blockchain Africa 2023, is actually our work with the regulator.
Right.
So we're doing a lot of blockchain analytics for them, compliance software, those kind of things. We like it because it's an engineering problem, and we definitely think, that this technology requires an engineering approach to regulation and compliance, actually.
Yes.
So that's what we're providing.
Yeah. So the people that would be involved in regulating must absolutely understand the mechanisms behind blockchain. I mean, there's the smart contracts that are incorporated into that. Would you look at smart contracting in terms of regulations as well?
Yeah, we do. So we use smart contracts on actually a wider range of things, especially in the metaverse, actually to enable business logic that goes on in a decentralized way. We do also believe that smart contracts from a regulatory and compliance side needs to be audited, and they need to actually, one of the things that is, one of the reasons why South Africa was grey listed was because of the role that virtual assets played. And
Wait,
one of the
we were grey listed because of the role that virtual assets play.
I should not say that. That's definitely digital assets, and crypto is not the only reason. There's about 40 recommendations, and we only complied to 5 of the 40. So digital assets and cryptocurrencies are only related to 1 of those 40 recommendations. So I don't want to step on anyone's toes.
Yeah.
I definitely don't say it's because of cryptocurrencies alone, but we do offer technical guidance towards at least complying.
Because I was going to say, if that was one of the main reasons, then I would expect that most of the world's countries have been grey listed, because it's still a very grey area, the regulations of digital assets.
Yeah. So one of the big things that FATF, who grey listed us, one of the big recommendations that they made was actually that virtual assets or cryptocurrency is classified as a financial product. And that virtual asset service providers fall under the FIC Act, which means that they are accountable institutions, so they're basically treated like banks. And our FSCA, our regulator, actually already did that last year, which was an excellent step. It was a step in the right direction, so congrats to them. Maybe, a little bit too late because the evaluation was done before that, but at least now, that step has been taken. And that was
what would it take for us to get out of this grey listing, by the way? Do you have an idea?
I think in terms of crypto and blockchain, I do have an idea, but I can't speak actually for all the other recommendations. A very, very long report.
Fair enough, yes.
So, the report is in excess of 300 pages, and that's just the high level. So every
the
single
potholes be part of that?
I hope so. That'll be nice. So in terms of crypto, there's some very clear guidelines. So FATF has made it so clear, So that what needs to be done. The one that I just mentioned needs to be done. There needs to be transaction analytics. So you need to know where this Bitcoin's coming from if you process Bitcoin. If it's coming from a sanctioned list, if it's coming from Russia or North Korea or some hacker site or whatever, you're not allowed to process that payment. And so it's stuff like that. It's also travel rules. So you need to know how much money is crossing our borders. You need to account for that. The Reserve Bank needs to take account for that. And then various measures to actually stop money laundering and terrorist financing. So,
jeez, it's quite intense and sounds like a mammoth task and almost impossible to achieve sort of complete, clean integrity, because a lot of people store their crypto in cold wallets,
Yeah.
So it's I can imagine you've got a job at your hands, a tough one at that. But I do believe, and I'm very grateful for the fact that there's a regulation process to protect everyone that is involved in the digital space. What would you say is the future of digital assets and blockchain in our country?
Oh, there's a lot. So I think that the regulation plays a big role in how our future is going to pan out. So I think virtual asset service provider, crypto companies, vast. The industry is growing. There's no doubt about that. It's exploding on a global level. It has been exploding for the last 10 years. And it will continue to do so. And these companies, they require boundaries to operate in. I found that the industry don't mind boundaries. But they want to know what it is. They want very, very clear guidelines. What are they allowed to do and what not? So, and then they will flood to whichever jurisdiction provides them that.
Right.
So I think that South Africa has a huge opportunity. We have beautiful cities. We have that beautiful coastline, for remote workers, for crypto companies to come and set up shop here. But they need to know where they are allowed to operate in. And that can bring a massive boost in skills importing into South Africa. And, because currently there's no other jurisdiction actually that provides that, So these companies are playing what we call jurisdictional arbitrage. They're hopping from one country to another.
No, absolutely.
They don't really know where to stay and things change. Estonia is a good example. Estonia was super friendly towards crypto companies. Now they're not. Maybe El Salvador is another option, but El Salvador gave the regulators a big, middle finger. So, so it's at this stage, there's really a big need for that. And I think if we can provide them with real clear boundaries, there's already an attractive space here. We have good internet connection. We have, some
when the lights are on.
Yes. They can put up a solar panel and a battery.
At a cost. So, I always worry about the youth and how we can quickly move them in the direction of blockchain. I think it is very critical that we do that because it's the future. In fact, a lot of careers as we know them are going to change drastically. A lot of things that we do in terms of how we interact with technology is going to be machine learning, internet-based, open AI products, your chat GPTs, your lambdas. How are we going to quickly move the youth in this direction? What is your opinion on that?
Yeah. Okay. So what I love about this is that, in general tech, but especially blockchain, is that you don't need a formal degree, in order to be extremely successful, which is in contrast to many other industries, and I think that's such a huge opportunity for Africa, and especially for the youth. I know it's more complicated than that, but if I'm allowed to simplify it also, to that level, there's not a lot of barriers, and sorry for oversimplifying it, but they in terms of technical, you don't need a degree.
No.
You can, if you just disciplined and you sit and you teach yourself, man, sky's the limit.
Sky's the limit.
I'm telling you, we do constantly look out for skills through the CSIR and various other ventures that I'm, involved in. And what a challenge! It's really difficult.
I think what is important, what at this stage, this very early stage of adoption, what's more important than looking for skills is to develop the skills, creating the skills. So I would love to see an organization like the CSIR actually creating a center of learning for the devs, so that they can create mock-up blockchains and metaverses and a whole lot of Web3 products, even tokens and so on. So we need to create, I think it's too easy for us to say that we're looking for skills. From where? Who would have created those skills and when? So we need to be fair about this process. So youngsters we are just learning about it, and many of us are businesses. But where would we have to engineer the skills,
for sure,
right? And then in 20 years we can say we're looking for skills. But you cannot reap where you did not sow, right?
No, that is true. And,
I think it's a challenge that we need to put out to governments right now.
I fully support that. I think it all comes down to education. At the end, it all comes down to that. It sounds cliche because everyone says it, but it's so much the truth. And it's difficult to find proper education, really, especially in this space as well. Point I'm trying to make is once you have access to that education, there's no shortage of demand. The sky is really the limit. So I want to encourage people to educate, and even if you cannot find a formal institution, but there are like for instance the CSR, we do there's a lot of incentives for us to appoint and to train interns and junior employees. And my group is very, very young.
Do you have enough officers there?
Oh yes,
giving us space. Would you be able to host Learn Crypto, and we do seminars there, and we do what do you call it? What do you call it? Flash courses.
Oh, we definitely have the space for you, so, and you have my contact details as well,
We're going to take you up.
So for sure, we right at the cutting edge, and the kind of work that we do, and we're very passionate about it, very. So we don't just work to to build a product or anything like that. We're actually passionate about the technology. It's what we want to do.
Yes.
It's what we spend our lives on.
Now we're going to need to find somebody to sponsor us good machines, good internet, so that we can get people cracking. And then we've got the developers that can train the trainer.
Yes.
And then, we develop the skills. I think we gotta act upon our dreams, right?
Yes.
I'm going to take you up on this one, and we're going to have conversation. But it will be a good project that comes off of the vision to educate and create skills so that many people can play within the space, the blockchain space, right? What do you feel about that?
No, I agree 100%. It's mutually beneficial. We need it. We desperately need it. The country needs it. The regulator needs it. Everyone, right from the top, from the government, all the way to the industry at the bottom.
Absolutely.
And Africa basically needs it. This is our opportunity. So let's grab it.
Yes, and we can raise funds together to get the academy going. I'm very excited about it. When I speak with people, I'm always looking at little pockets of opportunity that we can speak to this skills development. And see how we can rope in young people, because a lot of people are interested, but they just don't know where to start. And I find that even with the decision makers, the issue is there's a lot of egos that are involved. When I don't know something, I'm not going to crack my head trying to figure out what it is. I'm just going to stick to my lane. Whereas I should actually be fighting and fussing about how to get that knowledge so that I can make good choices and spending and so on. So I think we're in good times, and I'm excited that there's people like yourself who are passionate about the blockchain space and ready and willing to take it to the next level, especially for government.
Africa's gift to its tribe. Homegrown radio. Ekaya. My home.